So I think the ego is kind of like an addict, or there's an addiction, and out of this mechanism of being addicted, there's the creation of the ego. You see, because this organism has the ability to memorize things, certain events that happened in the past. So it's memorizing things that were unpleasant and pleasant. And because we have this ability, we humans have this ability to memorize certain things, then we can also recall what was actually giving us a pleasant experience and what was giving us an unpleasant experience. We have the ability to think and plan and seemingly have things under control by using our egos. So we have this ability to plan. So we say, I have experienced this, it was a pleasurable moment, and now I want to do it again. I want to make sure that I'm going to experience the same thing again. So we're planning, we're going to the same place, we are doing the same thing, but suddenly when it's happening, it's not having the same effect on us. And when we have experienced something that felt unpleasant, then we are trying to avoid it by all costs. And by trying to avoid the thing that we are afraid of, we are actually already in stress. We're already experiencing the fear that we are trying to avoid. Because we're so obsessed by this thing in our minds, by our memories. And it's basically just an advanced survival mechanism that is not just trying to make sure that it's surviving right now, but it's using its effort, its ability to put in effort to make sure that it's going to survive in a month, in a year, in 10 years. And by trying to make sure that you're going to survive in 10 years, you're actually in stress right now. And you're trying to make sure that you're going to have pleasant moments in 10 years, and you're trying to make sure that you're not going to have any unpleasant moments in 10 years. So this survival mechanism is so active in us. We have this ability to use memories and to just like try and control the future with those memories, and that movement is what's creating the sense of a center. There's an ego that's planning. There's an ego, and all the ego ever does is it's trying to survive. It's a very advanced survival mechanism, and it's also the cause of all suffering, because it's all the time so invested in the movement of an illusory fantasy. It's lost in fantasy, and it's an addict because it thinks that it wants to control the future. You have experienced something that was beautiful in the past, and you have turned it into a memory. You can check it if you have memories, the things that you can still remember. They have big emotions attached to them. Things that didn't give you a lot of emotions, usually you don't recall them, you don't remember. But things that have a lot of emotions in them, a lot of pain or a lot of pleasure, those are memories that you can find easily. You can recall them easily because they have a lot of emotions. So that's how the ego works. It's memorizing it. You have experienced something very pleasant in the past, and now you are not really happy with where you are right now, because consciously or unconsciously you're trying to have that same experience in the future. You're trying to control your life, change yourself, change your environment, change your family dynamic, change something or everything that's needed to be changed. You're trying to change your life until it is reforming again, until it's giving you the same pleasant experience that you have had in the past. Maybe when you were a child, you had a very beautiful childhood, but now you're an adult and you feel like you're suffering, everything is a struggle. And now you're trying to change your adult life until it feels as pleasant as it was in your childhood. Or all you know is suffering, and all you do is you're trying to escape that suffering. You're trying to paint a picture of what it would be like to have a beautiful life, and then you're working towards that life. So it's all the ego can do is avoid the present moment, try to avoid pain, and try to seek pleasure. That's all it's doing, basically. That's the whole mechanism. It's so simple. You know, we call it a complex personality. You're an individual, and you know, and that's true. You have an individual character, but actually, the only thing that you're doing is you're trying to avoid pain and you're trying to attain pleasure. That's your whole ego. That's you. You see, and because you're trying to recreate something that was pleasurable in the past, in the future, you're not open to something new. And here's the thing, you cannot cultivate happiness. Real happiness can only come to you when you're totally open to the unknown and you'll just see what happens. And out of that openness, without demanding anything, it just eventually comes to you, or it won't. But you cannot memorize something from the past that gave you happiness. You cannot recall it from the past and just recreate it and pursue the same pleasure. It won't bring you real happiness and joy. Joy is a gift. Happiness is a gift. Also, love is also a gift. You know, when you're entering a relationship, for example, you fall in love with someone, and this love isn't something that you have worked for. It came like a gift. You saw this person, you felt the love, and it's just there. It's a gift. You didn't create it, you didn't pursue it, you didn't work for it. It's just there. It's a gift. You were open to it. You did not demand it. And then you are in a relationship and both of you are constantly trying to work and put in effort so that this love will be sustained, so that it can feel like it felt on the first date. But it can only actually come when you're just relaxing and being as you are, and you're not trying to pursue love in this relationship, and you're just relaxing, and you're also okay if it's not there. And then out of this openness, it can again come like a gift. So joy is something that you open yourself up to, but you cannot pursue it. You cannot really pursue the sense of being fulfilled. You can only open yourself up to it by being okay with the feeling of not being fulfilled. And that's basically already the end of the movement of the ego. Because the ego is an addict. When you're just sitting there, aka you're meditating, you're just sitting there and you feel the pull towards your desire. Let's say you're a coffee addict. You're sitting here. All of a sudden you feel the pull towards the coffee. And then if you feel the pull towards the coffee or whatever it is, in your case, maybe cigarettes, maybe drugs, maybe alcohol, maybe calling someone. But when you feel the pull towards your desire, go after that desire and observe what is actually happening. When you're fulfilling that desire, you're drinking the coffee. You're not actually really enjoying if you're unconscious. If you're someone that's unconsciously just following a desire, then normally you're not really tasting the coffee or tasting the cigarette, enjoying the fact that you're smoking or drinking coffee right now. You're not doing this. You're actually just feeling a relief after you have done it, and then you can finally just relax. So you have fulfilled the desire, and for a short while you feel like you just can finally be. Now, you discover in that movement that it wasn't necessary to actually drink the coffee or the cigarette. You could have just, went in this stillness in the first place. You could have just gone in the stillness without drinking the coffee or smoking the cigarette. Just be here and feel the impulse to follow that desire and really realize that actually all that you're gonna get out of this desire is the same thing that you're actually experiencing right now. It's just this stillness, this being here, this sense of I don't have to do anything right now. I don't have to be anybody right now. I'm just here fulfilled as I am. It's just out of conditioning and habit that we think that first we have to fulfill that desire so that we can then experience completion, fulfillment, being okay, the joy, the sense of finally I have done it, now I can just finally relax. We attach this feeling to a certain desire that needs to be fulfilled first. We have to fulfill a desire, and then I'm going to feel like finally I can just be. Now I've done it. Now I can relax because I've smoked a cigarette. If you would be conscious about it, then you would drink that coffee and actually enjoy the taste of coffee. And then when you're conscious of it, maybe you find out that actually you don't even like coffee. Maybe you find out that you don't even like the sensation of smoking cigarettes, having this smoke in your lungs. And then you're like, wait a minute, I was looking for fulfillment, but it's not in the cigarette. It's just an illusion. The fulfillment after having smoked a cigarette is always here if I'm just choosing not to follow my addiction. And those are small addictions. You know, the ego is an addict, or it's a product that is made of the addictive movement of trying to get a sense of safety, which is found seemingly, it's an illusion to think that, but it feels like it's found in the sensation of drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes, taking drugs or alcohol, having sex, seeking a relationship, trying to find fulfillment in a relationship, this constant search for fulfillment in this world of forms, this search in things that are going to give you momentary pleasure. That's the addiction. That's what this organism is capable of, and out of this movement arises this ego sense of center, the self that could get something from life and could lose something, But finding out that actually this desire that you're looking for is found, the fulfillment that you're looking for you can find it without having to fulfill a desire right now here. You can relax. Then gurus or teachers, spiritual teachers tell you have to find presence, you have to find being, you have to find awareness, and then that turns also into a search. You have to find, where's the awareness? I can't feel it. I know it's here, but I don't know where it is. And then you're spending decades on trying to find awareness or being, when actually you just have to stop doing. Doesn't mean that you have to resist your desire with tension, but just simply observe that desire is there and allow it to be there. Really just fall into your being as you are. But it's not a mystical being, it's just being. It's just as you are here right now watching a YouTube video, knowing that everything's actually safe. This moment is peaceful as it is right now. And you're just relaxing. And you realize that actually I don't need anything. You don't need anything right now. And that's a fact, actually. Right now, in this moment, you don't need anything. And the mind is trying to tell you, but yeah, that's true, I don't need anything, but if I would have this, it would be a little bit better. But just observe that impulse. Because if you would follow that desire again, the only thing that you're left with after you have fulfilled that desire is the same stillness that you can find here right now already. And you can grow in that. It's something that deepens. It deepens. And so the sense of being fulfilled grows. It is revealing itself. As the addiction to seek fulfillment in the outer world drops, as this is shrinking, the sense of inner fulfillment without cause is growing. And then when you have realized that, you can still go on and smoke your cigarette and drink your coffee. But this time you know that it's just a sensation, it's just a form appearing, it's just something that happens, it's okay, you can enjoy it, but you know your sense of fulfillment is not in that object. So you're not addicted to it anymore. You don't find yourself a sense of fulfillment in that. You don't find it in a substance, in a relationship, in work, in money, in you know, it's just not there. You can still enjoy it, especially because you know it's not there. You have it anyway.